Hey guys, it's Sam. Happy New Year. This is my first video of my 2025 weeks, except for the kind of brief setup that I did probably back in November now of last year. So I have my weeks in use now, and I was just going to go ahead and show you guys how I've set up the pages. I do have the back pages set up a little bit differently this year. I'm hoping to make more use of those because historically I'm really bad at using them. So I thought that I would show you my ideas for using up some of those back pages and just maybe some small tweaks and adjustments and then some of the same. So if you're interested in seeing how I have set up my weeks for 2025, stay tuned. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. My name is Sam and I like to talk about stationery mostly, pens and that sort of thing. Welcome if you're new, and if you're coming back for more, thank you so much for always sticking with me. This year I am using, to start, this cover from Jenica's Journals. She is on Etsy. I will leave a link to her shop in the description box. And I don't remember what this leather is called. You'd think that I would remember to go and ask her so that I could have the name and share it with you. She's a custom shop, or she will have pieces ready-made. This one was actually ready-made and I found it in her shop and I felt like I could give it a great home. Just thought it was beautiful. I love the texture and variances and scarring in this, and I'm really into the pockets right now. So this is the cover that I wanted to start 2025 in, and I thought that it looked really nice with my pistachio weeks, which I ended up, after a lot of back and forth and flip-flopping, on the regular weeks. It does have a front pocket and it goes all the way to the bottom of the planner. I just have a chicken sandwich gift card that I got for Christmas in here. Hopefully I remember to use it on something. So yeah. So like I said, this is the pistachio regular weeks for 2025. I do have the hide and seek cover, which you have not been able to get for several years now. It was one of the limited. Every year they have some kind of clear cover that generally you can only get for that year unless you find it like on a buy sell trade or eBay. I would caution against trying to find one of these. Probably I've seen them go for about $100, which is ridiculous since you're getting them for under 10 from the website. But if you really, really want it and you're willing to pay that, no hate. I just wouldn't be able to. In this front pocket, and it's made, I'm sure, to put both covers in, but I really like to see the cover of my Hobonichi weeks because I spend so much time agonizing over which one to choose for the year, and so I like to see it when I open my planner. I also like to see all the stickers that I put on the front cover, so again, I opt for just sticking one side of the cover into my cover. I have a Starbucks gift card in here for a straight edge if needed, or to tear washi off. I have the Hobonichi green stencil, and I mainly, as you can see, use this for the numbers. And I have this weather stencil from a shop that has since closed, so I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to find this exact weather stencil, and I don't have alternative weather stencils to share with you because I've been really happy with this one and I haven't tried to find another one. Also, before we get started inside the planner, I will mention that I did buy I think this was called Animal Condo, the set of pencil boards that you could get. I did get one for every size because I really liked this one this year. And I just have a package of elastic pen loops that I purchased on Amazon. And I just went with the red because I felt like it went with the pencil board the best. And I didn't care about the color with this cover. And I kind of like it with the pistachio. I thought I was going to go with a different color, but in the end, this one I felt best suited. And so if you have a cover that doesn't have a pen loop, it's a big bonus because you've made a pen loop for yourself. And then if you have a cover that does have a pen loop, you can just still use this and have an extra pen loop, or you could take it off. It's not permanent. All right, so getting into the planner, I have my stickers set up. The only thing that I have since added, I got some custom stickers from Randy.Plans, so I just put this Sam here, and then I have added my photo. My husband and I went to a pop-up bar. We just had hot cocoa and lunch. We went to this over Christmas and we had a lot of fun. It was kind of crazy. We loved it. And I have since added some of these bronze stars to my cover as well. I will say this this mushroom, it's from Paper Minty Studios fall release, I think. It is hitting in the exact spot where my clear cover opens and closes over the book, and so I might have to reinforce this, or I might have to try to take it out and try again. But this is always my favorite part of setting up my Hobonichi weeks. And then in the back, I have added a couple of stickers already, and I just have some stickers tucked into the back here that I have been using. These stickers from like Walmart. These were from Amazon, and just an appointment card and some freebies. And these are the stickers that I use most frequently as far as like functional stickers. These Randy Dot plans, the large size, at least for the weekly layouts, I prefer the large. It's a little large for the monthlies, but for the weeklies, I prefer this size. So I track when I post a YouTube video. This is for my audiobooks. I have a book one, I have a TV one, I have a haircut one. I have several of them. They're actually here in my pouch that I keep with me. And I don't know, I think I'll save that for a different video if you're interested in what I'm currently carrying in this pouch. It's the Yuri Luku or something like that. I got it for my wedding anniversary a couple of years ago. I really like it, and it's a great pouch. So if you have interest in me sharing what's inside this pouch, let me know. All right, so as far as the planner goes, I am mostly functional. I do like some decor here and there, but I do generally stick to functional. For this particular layout, I'm glad it's here, and I really mostly only use this, and then I'll cover up the months as they go by. This year, I think I'm scaling down a little bit. I had been using some clear, some kind of, they're transparent stickers. This year, I think I'm gonna go with these from Randy Dot Plans. And so it's not gonna cover as much space, but it will still mark where I am in the months. And this is just honestly for nothing except for looking at the year pass by. But this is the Hobonichi colors bold dots. This is the 5mm. And I haven't used these before, but I don't know. I like the Hobonichi colorway, so I figured I'd go with that. Down here I have notated the days that I have already put in for PTO for 2025. I really don't reference this calendar very often, but I'm glad it's here because you never know. I think the other day, for like the first time in the year, within my weeks that I just left, I did reference that page, and I feel like it was for somebody's birthday, but yeah, anyway. This section I use, and I'm adding to it, so this is where I always track. I haven't written down my weight yet, but I will. So I try to make sure that I at least weigh myself on the first day of the month, and then I'll put my weight here so that I can see. Last year I was in a pretty extreme weight loss journey, and I really kind of fizzled out and stressed my body out a lot. So I came away from it, gained about 20 pounds, felt miserable, and after the holidays, well, before the holidays were even over, I was like, no. So I'm going to be tracking my weight and hopefully losing that 20 pounds, and then hopefully losing the 5 that I still wanted to lose the first time around. But I feel like I just went a little bit crazy and my body was just not having it. So I do plan to do that. This is a very much used area of my planner. So I track my cycle, I track intimacy, any kind of changes in my hormone medication. And then this year, and I apologize, I saw this on somebody's video, and it was like in the wee hours of the night, one night when I could not sleep. And she, I believe, had migraines, and so she tracked the full moon to help pattern with her migraine onset. And if you know her name, drop it in the comments, because I hadn't thought to, well, I had thought to put the full moon or the moon phases overall. I have clear stickers somewhere that I've never used, and the thought of like going through all of that was very overwhelming, and so I never did it. But I never thought about just putting full moon, so that I would know, because I do believe that it affects our bodies. So I just thought that it would be good to note, because sometimes if I go through a string of like a really anxious period, I will also note that in here as well, because I do suffer with PMDD and I am in perimenopause. And so all of these things kind of, you know, you're just like, well, am I going crazy, or is it my hormones or the moon or what have you? So I will track all of that here. And then I don't use this planner until the beginning of the year actually starts. And I'm pretty functional with this. I do have the Midori index clips, and I have them clipped to the monthly and to the week that we're on. And I usually keep them in whatever page we're on in the back pages, which I need to go get an extra clip for that. And then this year I've also clipped the My 100 to the 365, which we'll discuss a little bit more in detail when we get there. So I have, and I think that these are Planner Monkey Co. Randy Dot Plans, or it's not Caffeine and Papers. She's changed her name several times. Soft Paper Studio. It could be one of those three. Honestly, at the moment, I can't tell you. I feel like I'm leaning towards Soft Paper Studio though. But I just use my pen, which currently and for the last year or so has been the U Brands Felt Tip Catalina pen. I really like the control that it gives. This paper is a little less slick this year, and I feel like the pens kind of look more bold in it. So I might do some experimenting this year and try to branch out into a pen that doesn't, I mean, I'm pretty heavy-handed and these do wear down, and when I feel like my handwriting is starting to look messy, I know it's time to change out this pen. So if I could move to something like the Hobonichi pen, which historically I felt hasn't given me enough control, I don't know, I just feel like my handwriting goes off the rails because I have a slick pen and slick paper, and this has just made me the happiest as far as feeling control and with my handwriting, and I've been able to highlight over it. Although, to be honest, I have not done a lot of experimentation with that in this new paper. So at this moment, I'm not willing to swear to that. I'm very functional when it comes to my monthlies. I rarely even use icons, but I will, especially if it's going to help me with the small spacing of this monthly layout. So I have appointments, my PTO, known days paid off, and I'll obviously put in appointments as they come along. And then I also added the full moons and their names in the monthly, just because I thought that it would be fun, because I really do like to watch the moon cycle. So there's that. So I have filled out with everything known so far this year. Birthdays are like anniversary dates, because we have our wedding anniversary and our dating anniversary. We are having a trip planned in May, and just a couple of different reminders to myself as well, which I'll need to put more in. This was just kind of the basic stuff. And then a couple weeks ago, I came in here and I put some things that I'd like to remember to do on this month, and I'm going to expand on that in the back pages. But these are things that I was pretty sure that I knew we wanted to do, so I felt kind of safe, except for maybe this one, about putting them into the monthly. But I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along. So we also have 3 supermoons at the end of the year, October, November, and December. So I've just notated those in my planner as well. I did cut down a brand new, this feels so crisp compared to the old one. I've been using the same blotting paper, not that I don't have an entire pack of them, but I've been using the same blotting paper for the last 2 years. Why? Because I don't know. It just didn't seem that important to me, but this one feels very nice. I went ahead and notated to myself that I know that it's already here, but just a little bit more boldly, that this is 2026, because sometimes when you get in, you know, frantic grabbing for your calendar, I just know that it's possible that I would pick the wrong part of the year. So I just went ahead and labeled it. I do like that Hobonichi gives you the monthly calendars through March, because generally towards the end of the year, you are starting to plan appointments for the next year. So I do like that. I will leave these blank, most likely. That's what I've done lately. I used to try to do like back planning from this one and fully planning in the other one, but I've just decided I really don't care. I've also tried to utilize these pages in other ways, and again, I've just decided that I don't care. So I'm going to go ahead this year and I'm going to use the pages, at least for now, the same way that I have been using these pages, because it's working for me. I didn't take the time to do this last night because, you know, it was New Year's and we were up way later than we usually are. But I usually try to put a little icon sticker if we've watched a show or a movie, if I'm listening to a book or an audio book, and so it just kind of helps draw attention to that in the weekly chaos of planning otherwise. I usually will go in and highlight these, but I've been busy, so I didn't really have a lot of time to do that yet. But I always have this dividing line here. Anything that is a known appointment, timed event that has to happen on a specific day, I like to put it on this side. And this side, I will put a small to-do list, a random memory or note. So this is kind of my very mini memory keeping system. Since I'm not a journaler, this is where I make that happen. I have done the weather here, which I showed you those stencils earlier. And then for now, I'm going to keep with the usual. My workouts, my trackers, and my weekly to-do list. So I'm going to try to keep up with these goals, which I need to get on the ball with my PM skincare routine again, but it is what it is. So I haven't done anything else in these pages of my planner yet. I do intend to go through and at least draw that dividing line for the rest of the month of January. I can only assume that I'm going to do that the entire year. I've tried to go away from this, but this is just how my brain likes to plan, and I'm used to it. And again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I won't go through anything else here because that's literally the extent of things. This is the first week of 2025. That's the earliest I've been using this planner. For this little note section, I've done different things before. I've tracked, you know, my Tombow of the month. I've tried to use it as an index. I usually fail, but I have this cute little ghosty sticker from Paper Minty Studio, and I just put it here so it wouldn't look blank. So we'll see if this gets filled in this year or not. These pages did not initially go as I planned them, and again, I'm not a highly decorative person, but I did have plans for these. You'll see a mistake as we go along, because I initially planned these spreads backwards from the spreads that I actually did. I had planned 2 different sections that would go by the months, but I did them incorrectly because I posted it off some other sections, and then my brain thought I was in the right place when it actually wasn't. So I think I've been able to recover from it pretty well. But for these, and it's nothing fancy. I will add stickers to this as I go, but it's nothing to look at right now. I've just used the Fudonosuke brush tip pen in black to make it a bolder heading for these. But this is going to be, and I hope that this works, because I've tried this so many different ways and have always failed. So fingers double crossed that this is going to be the thing. But I always try to do like reading trackers and movie trackers and TV show trackers, and I feel like I always misappropriate the spacing that I need. But I started thinking about it, and I thought I can probably fit in 2 pages all of that for the month in a kind of brief synopsis, because I would like to have like enough spacing to put like a star system for what we watched, maybe a 1 line about, you know, what the book was or what I liked or hated about it. And then I just feel like this would be enough room. We generally tend to binge watch, so I don't think that I would need like 50,000 entries for TV shows for an entire month. I guess we'll see. It might have been smart to not completely commit, but I just decided if I didn't decide that these pages would be more likely to go blank. And you can always washi tape over something or use correction tape or many other things to correct mistakes. So I just went ahead and did a 2-page spread for each month of this year. And this is where I get to my mistake, because I initially intended for the next section to be the first section, and that was only going to be 1 page for each thing. And so this should have been January moving forward, because this should have been January, February, March, April, May. And so this should have been January going forward, and I ended up having to take that away and put July here because I made an oopsies. So yeah, this is how I intend to use these pages. Okay, December. I was like, did I skip a page? Okay, so then what I had intended to be a 1-page spread for each month, and this would be where I wanted to come in and list things that we wanted to do, movies we wanted to watch, places we wanted to go, events that we knew of in the area that we wanted to participate in. And so this kind of more long list is where I wanted to come back into the monthlies and kind of put the short list of things that we really, really, really want to do, which I had shown you in the October page here. So the idea is to put all of the kind of, hey, what about these things bucket list, and then narrow it down, bring it to the monthly, so that we try to make sure that we do the couple of things that we really have decided that we want to try. So instead of it being a page for each month, since I completely messed up my spacing, I ended up going with winter, spring, summer, and autumn. And I think that this will be enough space. I think that maybe looking back at that accident, maybe it was better off, because I don't know that I would have had enough for some of the months to have given it a full month of spacing. Then I have a space to write down Thanksgiving and Christmas plans. In the past, I have done a 2-page spread of like the gifts that we were purchasing, and I would check mark, you know, if they were received, if we had wrapped them. And I ended up doing that in like my pen and gear notebook and doing really messy planning for Christmas this year, and that seemed to work out pretty well. So this is where like meal planning and cookies and desserts, and if we need new lights or whatever, that kind of thing is going to go here. And then I gave myself 2 full pages for a wish list. And I need to do better about putting things down that I think that I'd like instead of buying it myself, because then it takes away opportunities for others to buy things for me. And now that we have gone back to low carb, I'm going to put down like favorite recipes here, because you know, you get into a rut and you think, what in the world am I going to eat? And if you have a running list of things that you really like, then that helps trigger you so that it's not as much of a chore. I also, and I don't know that this is going to end up being a 2-page thing, but I can easily put something else here. But I use a streaming workout service called Les Mills On Demand, and they have like all different kinds of fitness in there. And there's just certain releases that I like better than others, but I never remember to write them down. I used to try to put like a star beside of them when I would track my workouts weekly, like over here, but I do kind of run out of space sometimes, because most days I walk twice at least, and then I'll do some kind of workout, and you know, there's only so much room there. So I will try to remember to come back here and put down which workouts were my preferred workouts. You know how it is. This space is going to be for YouTube ideas, and then that gets me up to page 43, which if I utilize even most of these, that's better than I usually have done as far as using pages in the back. So I'm excited to make better use of this space. And then for what's left, I can just use this for memory keeping. Like I said, we only have 1 for sure trip planned this year, and I do like to journal about big events, and I like to put ephemera from the trip and photos and that kind of thing. So I think that most of this will get used this year. I don't have any wood. I don't have any wood to knock on. And then as far as the back pages, otherwise, this is where I do my messy pen test page. And then, like I told you, I have this sectioned off. I do use the My 100, and I'm trying to use my fingers. The favorites. I'm gonna try to remember to use that this year too. I guess I could go back. I mean, everything is here. I do write, like I said, the things that we watch and listen to in my weekly, so I could just go through and pick out the ones that I enjoyed the most. I like the idea of this, I just haven't utilized it. I do use the My 100, and then this year I'm using the 365 days list, the same but different than last year. So last year I just noted what days I did some kind of fitness, walking, lifting weights, cardio, that kind of thing. And so I just noted that I did it. This year I'm going to use this pack of the Zig Dot, which I think one got left behind in here, but there's a 6-pack here. Oh wait, no, there's 2 left behind because this is the one from last year. I bought a 6-pack, and I'm going to color code, which, as you can see, I have yet to commit to which color is going to be which thing. I could just make it easy and go down the line for whatever, but I was gonna try to pick which color was my favorite and which workout type was my favorite. So one of these will be for walking, and one will be for weightlifting, and one will be for some kind of cardio, flexibility, and then I'll have a color, I think, for I did all of those things in one day, because I do have it happen. It's not as often that I do all things in one day, but I want to give myself the color just in case I do. Yeah, and then I just put my name in here, and I already showed you the stickers that I have so far. So I feel like this has been the best setup for me with the most reasonable expectations in a long time. And I really do hope that I utilize the back pages better, because this is the book that I keep no matter what. And this year I don't know how far I made it. Not as far. So 37, but a couple of those were not real because it was just stickers that I put down. I mean, not that it wasn't real, but so yeah, the plan is to use much more of these than I have in the past. I hope that you enjoyed this flip through of my setup and initial use of my 2025 Hobonichi weeks. I hope that you all have your planners situated for this first day of the year. Happy New Year to everybody. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new around here and don't want to miss out on future videos, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year. I wish the best to all of you. Bye.